Okay. All right. All right. Hi, everybody. And we're attempting to have a co-live session with Ashley, my new friend. We just started getting to know each other on Instagram, and we had this great idea of watching the movie It Ends With Us. And I just sent her a request to join. And let's see if it goes through. We're going to talk about our opinions on the movie It Ends With Us. So let's see if we can get this going. Oh, there you go. We're just trying to get this fixed up right now. Hmm. Okay, let's see. Oh, there you go. Ha-ha! Finally.
Hello. We did it!
Yay! I know, right? There are some technical difficulties, but it's
Oh,
okay.
no. It's probably on my end. Sorry.
No, it's not you. It's like the app, like sometimes there's a delay. So it was like you were requesting and I was inviting at the same time and then there but yeah, we got it. We got it. So yes, how are you doing? Good to see
I'm
you,
living.
Ashley. Awesome.
So just in case anyone doesn't know who I am, which you probably don't, my name is Ashley Collins, aka The Aunt of Dragons. I have a YouTube channel called the Breakup Diaries.
I love that. We should hear more about that at the end too, whenever we have people talking. Yes, that's so cool. So you have a YouTube channel and when did you start it?
Probably 5, 6 years ago. I've lost track.
That's awesome. So cool. Well, speaking of that, I this movie was all about relationships. How did you like the movie so far?
I want to know what you thought of the movie, firstly.
Yeah? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Definitely. Okay, so I'll talk about it. I felt like the movie was it was good. I didn't read the movie. I mean, I didn't read the book for the movie. I didn't read the
Hmm.
book, so I heard like there was a lot more depth from the book, of course, whenever they translated it to a movie. And
Hmm.
but I did like I enjoyed that they were talking about the relationship style that she was constantly trying like she was trying to get away from it, but it seemed to have come back to her in another way. So she was really attempting to be independent, and then of course like there was I almost felt like in the beginning it was unwanted attention. It was like there was guys that were coming to her and it's like she didn't even really want that. She just wanted to have a nice business with her flower business, and that's really all she was trying to do. And then it caused all these other things that came through. And so the question is like, is it are your turn of events like the certain things that have to happen to you, like I guess you can say karma, or you can say your relationship style, like what you learned from the past, is it something that you 100% have to face every single time? I think that was the question that I was left with. um and then, because no matter what she did, it ended up happening anyway. And so that's like the question that kind of like led me through the entire movie until the end. Should we give a little bit of spoilers? How do you feel about this? Should
I
we
was going
talk
to
about
ask
it?
you, do you want to do spoilers?
Um, I feel it's kind of difficult to talk about it otherwise, the movie. So, I mean, we don't have to go all the way through, but it's pretty evident that the movie was about abuse. Um, so yeah, I think we should go a little, we'll dive in a little bit. Let's do it.
So, as you stated, the film revolves around Blake Lively's character, who is in an abusive relationship, and um, she doesn't recall the abuse because she's put it in the back of her head. But he's so sweet. And maybe it's a little biased because he's so handsome in the film. He's
Yeah.
so handsome, and it's like it's okay because he won't do it again. He won't do it again, right? Um, I'm going to be extremely biased because as an actor, I'm looking at this from the actor and director point of view. I personally think this is, I don't like giving eights. I personally think this is a 9 out of 10 because Blake Lively is no Meryl Streep yet. She's getting there. She's getting there. And I didn't read the book. I'm still trying to finish this one book called Verity. You guys should read it. It's really good. I fall asleep reading it just because I'm just old and tired. But there's no book that's consistent with the series. As someone who's a massive fan of Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, um, I've read almost every book that's been made into a film. It's never going to be consistent because you can't crunch 500 pages into 2 hours. You can't unless you want. Even if with Game of Thrones they have multiple series, it's not possible. You have to cut some stuff out. But I think they did a fantastic job as an actor. But it's very perplexing that people keep saying that they're romanticizing romance and within domestic relationships because I didn't read that while watching the film. I think she's, like I said, she's wearing rose-colored glasses, and I think that this film is actually a great warning for young women that if he throws you down the stairs once, he might do it again. But I feel like I'm talking too much. You keep
No,
going.
not at all.
I'm
I think that
not a Steelers fan, by the way. I'm a Bucks fan. This
that's
is
funny.
just here.
Nice, nice. I like the points that you come up with. So, what I noticed is that she wasn't actually wearing rose-colored glasses. Like she knew what she wanted. She wanted to be independent. She wasn't really even welcoming her past fling, in the mix either. Like he kind of just was all like even the her new girlfriend that she was working with, I just felt like everybody constantly was violating her boundaries,
Yeah,
and it was like it was a normal thing. It was like her best friend was like, being territorial with her, and then her past flame was coming out, randomly out of nowhere, and then whenever there was issues with the boyfriend, he went and grabbed the boyfriend and started beating him up. Like that wasn't good either. Like
yeah.
what, like caused the scene in front of everyone in his own restaurant. And so
Hmm.
it was like, and then he went in the bathroom with her. Then there was a lot more history that was told by the past relationship with Atlas, more so than the current relationship. I felt like they kind of, um, we're supposed to like read between the lines that there was probably more abuse than that they depicted. Like there was probably more than what they just showed us, but they wanted to highlight the connection between her mother and her father, like they were doing the flashbacks. I think there was that one scene at the end. Yeah? Okay, wait. You have an idea. Wait.
Sorry.
You're next. You're
No, sorry.
next.
You keep going. Keep going.
No,
Keep going.
no,
Keep
no.
going.
You're next. You're next.
No,
So what do you think about
because I think
that
that
in terms
I,
of
I
violating boundaries? Yeah.
I think that not beautiful. That's a bad word. But I think that if they wanted to make this a 3-hour film, they could have dealt more into the mother and dad
Yeah.
relationship more.
Right.
But
I agree.
like I said, no one wants to sit through a 3-hour romance film. No one wants to sit through that. But that relationship, I was like, why did he start hitting her? Why did he
Her
start
mom.
becoming violent?
Hmm.
I would have loved to have delved into that.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you because there was the funeral in the beginning, and then it was like, okay, well,
Oh,
she
my
walked
goodness.
out. It was hard for her to talk about it
Yeah,
positively.
yeah,
So it was like, well, what happened that, aside from we didn't know about the beating of the mom like until I think a third into the movie.
yeah.
So, but maybe they were going along with her thought process. Like she was trying to forget everything and trying to move on. Like that's why she moved to a new city. And her mom was also like tugging at her energy too, like trying to get her to move back. And she really just wanted to move on. And so there was like I felt like Blake Lively's character was like a tennis ball. She was like constantly being pushed to and fro, and it's like the girl just wants a freaking flower shop and like a nice life.
I like that.
Yeah.
That should be on a t-shirt. I just want a freaking flower shop.
And then
I like
like
that.
there's like two guys like stalking her.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Make that a t-shirt, I'll buy it. Or make it a sports bra, I'll buy
Okay.
it.
So
So would you
what about
recommend the film?
I would recommend the film, yeah. But and I do want to like learn a little bit more about the book before the next movie. It starts with us. I don't know when they're filming it, but and then
Heard about
yeah,
that.
yeah, there's gonna I mean I don't know when they're doing it, but right, they have to make a movie for that one too.
Yeah.
What is your take on Atlas? Like Atlas's character?
I mean, as an active actor, I think he did a superb job. And I
He was
hate
trying to
men.
come off like he was trying to come off as like a savior. Like he was trying to be there for her, even though she didn't want him to. I mean, he kind of was the cause of the issue too, a little bit. So was that supposed to happen, or what do you think?
I think that I hope your account doesn't get flagged for this. I apologize. I think that this is a great millennial. I think we're the same age. I hate to assume your age.
No, you're
I
right.
think
You're
this
right.
is I think that this is a great millennial film because it's great for what we're experiencing right now, where I'll do whatever it takes to get you to stay because there's so many women who don't want to be in a committed relationship. So even if I have to stalk you, if I have to beat you, if I have to track your every move on Google, I think that this is the starter for how our future films will be because that's how relationships are now. I think that, I mean, obviously, this is our present tense reality. They had what you call it? They had Gone with the Wind. They had Titanic. This is our Titanic and Gone with the Wind.
Okay. Yeah, like a more realistic version. I
Yeah,
felt it was actually more realistic.
yeah, yeah. This is us now.
This is there you
Unfortunately,
go. This is
unfortunately.
us now. Yeah. Um, so I think that moment where so there was that third time it was almost like strike one, strike two, strike three that they showed the key pivotal moments that he abused her, and then and she's a very strong woman, right? Like there was that scene where she took off her she went to an event, and she's like taking off her jacket, and she's like gorgeous, and she's like working the room without even trying, and the guy comes up to her again, and at that point it seems like, okay, maybe like they're both into each other, but there was always inequality in the way that they were, her and this future husband that was supposed to be her husband. They got married. Yeah, it was like a whirlwind marriage, right? A whirlwind wedding. Um and so what was I gonna say? Oh, okay, the moment where, okay, so the three things happened, like, she fell down the stairs, all that, but that moment where she was like on the couch and he was on top of her, like trying to do something to her. We don't even know what it was, because it was like, she didn't even know she was pregnant yet. And then from there it was like she was having a traumatic, it was like the other things happened, if it was physical or not, it didn't matter. She was having a traumatic, like, panic attack. And okay, that's what I was trying to get at. Like, she was like being brainwashed. Like, she was so strong, and then there were certain pivotal moments where we saw her and her husband, or because at that point they were husband and wife, and he would talk to her in a certain way, and then like you can see her like emotions and mentality changed in that moment. It was like she was being brainwashed. That part like really got to me. It was even worse than the physical parts, because it was like her demeanor completely changed in that moment, right? So it's like she went from a strong woman to a weak woman. And then that third time where he was attacking her on top of her, and there was like a full-fledged trauma experience relating to her father. I think at that moment it was didn't even matter what he did. It was just that he was repeatedly doing this thing to her, and it was she was having just a panic attack, like, and she was pregnant at the same time, and she didn't even know. So yeah, it was pretty deep.
You know what it reminded me of was did you ever see What's Love Got to Do with It?
Yeah, a while ago.
It reminded me of that scene where Ike um takes advantage of her, which is so weird because it's like that's my husband, but I don't want to right now. It reminded me of that scene, and
Yeah.
God, I don't want to make this into like a stupid feminist thing, but
Yeah,
like
just
sometimes
speak
I
from your
don't
heart.
feel like it. Like sometimes I don't feel like it, you know? So if I say no the first time, is that okay? If I say yes the second time, the first time equals the same thing. Like I
Yeah.
don't feel like it. I'm just doing it for you.
Right.
So if I close my eyes, like that should be a sign. No? I don't know. Maybe I'm just
No,
being
a hundred
too.
percent. Like, it was very evident from the beginning that he was pushing her boundaries. Like, from the very beginning scene, right? He was like, he pulled her chair to him, like, violating her boundaries. So I felt like the whole movie was about boundaries.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And also about how your kids are watching you. So how you behave now, she was just trying to look for her new dad who kept abusing her.
So with this relationship, she was trying to resolve the past with her father.
Oh, 1,000,000%. I think so.
Yeah. And so her mom already forgave the father somehow. What is your take on that?
Um, the bias
If you
answer
want to
or
say
the bias answer or the critical answer.
both.
The bias answer, you don't touch my mom. I don't care. You don't touch her, right? I want revenge. The critical answer is I'm mimicking what my mom sought because that's what she wanted. So that's what I want, right?
Yeah.
Um, for me, my mom dated a strong police officer who served in the army. I want that, right? So I'm going to go continue to seek that. I'm going to continue to seek the strong man. If he was a deadbeat drug dealer, I might have sought that, right?
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned it like that because because now enter Atlas, and she had her her reservations on Atlas at the time. It was like a childhood fling, and but like he wasn't in a good place,
Mm-hmm.
and then now he's like number one on the charts of the magazine for his business and this and that, and like and he doesn't even really flaunt himself, right? Throughout the
Mm-hmm.
whole movie. So
Mm-hmm.
he didn't seem like the ideal candidate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because it was like, oh, well, he used to be like this, and like, and then she was still trying to just move on. So it's funny. It's like we have certain characters in our life that doesn't really seem like a strong character, and I think that's why they made the second movie, because the second movie is going to be all about them.
Is it still going to have Blake Lively in it?
I think so.
Oh, okay. She's making her own series. Go, girl.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like a two-part movie from what I gather, right?
Go, girl. Okay. I didn't know Blake was going to be in it.
Well, like the very end was the they had their
I think
last
it was like a
interaction.
hug, right?
What?
It was a hug, wasn't it?
What at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like they kind of circled back towards each other, and they were at the market, and they were saying, she was like, "Are you seeing anybody?" Like, I'm not seeing anybody, but like when that really was it. Like the important part was whenever she went to his apartment, I think, and she realized like I kind of feel like in her mind she felt like I made a mistake, like I chose the wrong
Mm-hmm.
person. You know what I mean? And then and then she saw him at the end, and then it was like she was more open to the possibility. But they left us hanging. It's like we
Yeah.
don't know what's gonna happen
Which is
next.
good. Which is good. I was gonna say I'm going to read the book, but I need to finish this current book that I'm reading right now. So I'm not going to read until I finish this current book. I
Yeah.
promise I'm going to finish this book. What was the last
Yeah.
book that you read?
Well, for me, I'm in the tech field, so I read a lot of articles. I can't read a book right now.
What was
Yeah,
the last book that you read? What did you read during COVID?
I was reading a ton of articles. That's all about my industry. A book that I read that I'm still reading, I don't know. I'll get back to you on that. We can have a whole session about that. Yeah.
But overall, like I said, I recommend this film. I love that people are talking about films again. I think this is a great year for films. I know that a lot of us are trashing films because some of them kind of suck, but I love that people are still showing up to the theater,
Yeah,
which
same
is good.
here.
I was talking to
Definitely.
my friend. I was talking to my friend about how renting out a space in a movie theater is so pricey, and I don't know what's going on with Hollywood. Bollywood is doing fine. Australia is doing fine. But like here in America, so many movie theaters are going out of business and it's such an unpleasant experience. When I went to go see Twisters, um good movie, go watch it. But like
Oh,
the
Twister
whole
too?
experience was so unpleasant. Like the staff was rude. Like the seats were smelly and uncomfortable, and I'm like, I can't even pay attention because I'm so uncomfortable right now. Like I like the film, but like I'm so uncomfortable.
Yeah, you have to choose your theaters. You have to be selective with your theaters.
Yeah, honestly. Do you think that 3 strikes is too much in an abusive relationship?
I mean, we're taught to be able to read things better beforehand. But yes, that does tend to happen. The reality of things is that it sometimes takes us a few times to realize. Yeah. I guess it just depends on what the situation is. For her situation, like they did a really good job at showing like is it an accident or was it purposeful? And I think
Mm,
because it was in her
mm,
mind first, they made the scene look like it was an accident. And then and later on they do a flashback and then they show that it was deliberate and like, the amount of anger that was shown in that scene was enough to make a person kind of run away from that situation. So yeah, I liked how they did that. Like they went back to that scene and they showed it in the real way. So yeah, you are right. There was the rose-colored glasses. She was having a rose-colored glasses on.
yeah.
Yeah,
Do you mind if I read this comment?
of course. Yeah, let's read it.
So, cost of movies and the value return. I'd rather watch a movie 6 months after it's released to watch it on in my own home. I hate to agree with you. I don't want to agree with you, but every time I go to the movies, I'm like, where did my $50 go? You
Yeah,
know, because like
I hear you.
I had to get the movie ticket. I'm obviously going to get popcorn. I'll probably get a hot dog, and I'm definitely going to get a cocktail. And then I have to like get home, so that costs gas. So it's like it's a $50 experience when I can experience it at home for free.
Yeah,
So
I got my
there's there,
ticket for
there's
free.
no incentive.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
no incentive to watch films in theaters anymore. I mean, I enjoy the film experience. Twisters was so cool watching in the theater, like with the sound and everything. Like it was so cool. Avatar, I will never regret spending money on Avatar
yeah,
ever. But you have to prove to me that it's worth watching it. I'm not gonna watch easy, stupid film
no, I agree.
unless
I
it,
agree.
unless it's a $5 movie day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then your friend is writing a good comment next. That the cinema is cool for certain blockbusters. We watched Deadpool last week, but in the era of consumption, it's the same reason I cook at home versus going out. Yeah, I mean the like
Well,
you said, the sound quality and the kind of movies.
yes, yeah, the sound quality, yeah, definitely.
I think for me, because I already knew I was gonna end up crying, I wanted to be in the dark. So yeah, I had to like after this movie, even though I've seen movies, there's been movies before about, about domestic abuse and stuff like that, but I wanted to really take in the lesson. And so for me, even after the movie, I had to sit on a bench and kind of process some emotions because boundaries is like such a hard theme. And,
Yeah,
and yeah, your friend is right about the selectivity of certain movies in the theater.
yeah, definitely, definitely. But I don't want to deter anyone from not watching the film.
Yeah, for
Just
sure.
know that it's just a movie. Don't accept violence in your life. And there's a motorcycle that just drove by. I hate this. I hate living here. I hate living here.
Yeah, don't accept violence in your life. Like, not just physical violence, but the other kind, right?
Yeah,
Emotional violence.
yeah. What would you say for emotional abuse is like a hard limit for you?
I just don't feel like when I feel there's this emotional this thing that happens, especially with women, I feel you feel trapped. You just feel trapped. Like you're not able to make your own decisions and you're not allowed to express yourself in a given moment. Um, and you're not like they never really showed her and her spouse actually having a deep conversation. They were just like, "Oh, we're gonna work on it. We're gonna work on it." Well, the next
Yeah,
step for him,
yeah,
yeah, the next step would have been for him to get counseling or something before they even have the child. Um, if he was real serious about it. Because at that point there's already enough to show. So emotional violence or emotional like boundary, violating a person's boundaries and emotions is making them feel trapped because everybody has a choice. But that's the illusion of that entrapment that causes the abuse, and everybody's like, well, why don't you leave this person, why don't you da da da. It's like, well, because you feel that entrapment, it feels real, and that can be even more dangerous than the physical violence, I feel.
it's not technically a change. Oh, sorry, let's read this.
I like your friend giving some comment here. This is awesome.
Most people in abuse cycles struggle because they never feel like they will be in the situation until there's it's hard. Also because abuse is not black and white and can be skewed in so many ways.
Exactly. Yeah, well,
Yeah,
well said. And
yeah,
it was her best friend's brother. She's like, well, maybe I should give him another chance. It's like my best friend's brother. Like, there's so many thoughts that could have gone through her head.
sorry about that.
And
There is an
know,
ant in.
no, it's okay. I wanted to also say, like, oftentimes, like, we turn to our friends and it's hard for us to talk about things. And then I don't want to say they give us the wrong advice, but because it's not black and white, like they don't know how to handle it. They're like, well, just leave the person or don't talk to them or block them. It's like, well, I'm pregnant with their child now, so what do you do with that?
Exactly. And what I was gonna say to you is not it's still on the subject ish. I was listening to a video today where this eighth grader was being kicked out of her home. I hate the whole phase of recording everything. You don't have to record everything. Some things can be private, right? But anyway, this eighth grader was being kicked out of her home because she was pregnant for a second time. and her dad was kicking her out. And she was saying, "Where am I supposed to go? My mom doesn't want me." And he's like, "I don't know, go somewhere."
Right.
And then she said, "I told you not to have Uncle Tony come around."
Wow.
And it's like, you're too young to be experiencing that kind of abuse. I mean, we were all spanked by our parents, right? Like, whatever. But you're too young to be experiencing that kind of abuse, which sounds so backwards. Like, at least wait till you're 18 till you're hit by your boyfriend. But you know what I'm saying.
So she got abused by her own uncle, and the presumption is that she was pregnant with her uncle's baby.
That's what I'm presuming.
Yeah, that's happened before and that's happened. I think I watched a movie like that too, where there was
Mm,
it was an Indian movie, great Indian movie too, and it was about like this woman. She was like banned from like attending the wedding of one of her relatives, and then she reveals that one of the uncles that is like the godfather of the family um abused her, and I think also something like that happened. So it's like this is very like a very real situation. So
is that the name of the movie?
we
Shit.
got another comment. Yeah.
Go ahead and read it.
You want me to read it? Okay.
Yeah.
Most abusers condition others to believe it's normal, and until you're in a healthy relationship, it's hard to know what's normal. Is also once you have lived in abuse, it's often hard to find functional relationships. Yes, because it's almost like you can't even attract that healthy relationship. It's almost like you feel like you're not worthy enough, right? It's like
Yeah.
and then yeah, so not only you leave the relationship, and by the way, I've been in relationships too that were not very ideal. I'll just leave it at that. Uh, but then you put yourself in this never-ending cycle of like I have to work on myself. I have to work on myself. I have to work on myself. And then you're like, but where's that part where I get to have a normal relationship that's healthy, and how am I supposed to be worthy for that one? And then now you put that relationship like on a pedestal. It's like, oh, it's gonna look like this, it's gonna feel like this, and I have to be like this. And I think that's why she missed the mark on Atlas. It was like Atlas was there the whole time. I mean, he wasn't the best of the best either, but he certainly had his life together better. And yeah, what do you think? That never-ending loop of trying to improve yourself. What do you think about that part?
I was talking to a friend about this the other day. About, I swear I'm not changing the subjects.
No.
Um, you seek out the abusive behavior, not realizing that it leads to the abuse. Yeah, yeah, agreed, agreed. But I was talking to my friend the other day about why some people really love Inside Out too. Did you see it?
I haven't, and I want to see the first one first. I love the
You haven't seen
concept.
the first
Yes.
one yet?
I
It's been
I don't think
years.
so. I know. But yes, please do talk about it. It is about
It,
emotions.
it,
So that's
I won't say any spoilers.
okay.
Okay.
All right.
But she was asking me about Inside Out 2 and why I liked it. And I said because I related to the character anxiety, which I think that our generation, we're too medicated. We have to chill out. You know? We have to chill out. I was saying that for those of you who don't follow me, I take the bus every day. And sometimes when I'm taking the bus, I'll be like, I'm having a panic attack. I'm having a panic attack. And I'm like, no, you're just running late. calm down. Or I'm like, oh, that person doesn't like me. That person's not even thinking about you. And I don't know why it's taking us, our generation, so long to grow up. I don't know why it's taking us so long to leave Neverland.
I like that. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So what do you think about like okay, you said that you had issues with your Instagram?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I went through the same thing too.
Because you're not
I got
saying
like
the right
yeah,
things.
I got like locked out of Facebook. I got for years. And I'm in the technology field. And I got shadow banned on Instagram. I think I'm still shadow banned on Instagram a little bit. And
Congratulations.
well yeah, right. Yes.
That's a
So
badge of honor.
I just think it I just
Yeah.
badge of honor for not being narcissistic and not having to be online all the time, I guess. So that was a strange experience though in the past few years. It's like I'm building my business, it's almost underground. I kind of need social media to promote myself, but I don't need to put my whole life on Instagram anymore. Like something was shed, and then it made me realize that our generation is very much dependent on our phones, on our social media, on our
Yes.
persona, like the
Yes.
persona that we put out. Like thank you for being honest and telling you're one of the few people that I feel that like tell it like it is. So you just you do you, and like there's no shame to it. And but not everything is like that on Instagram. So we get caught up in this monitoring behavior, and then maybe we have like too much of an awareness, like a super awareness where it's and then we don't know how to handle it, and then yeah.
Oh, do you want to read that one?
Yeah, it's relevant. There you go. Unfortunately, if you grew up with technology, it's hard to have developed the same critical solving processing skills that comes from doing everything analog. Yeah, there's a good and a bad to both of them, right?
Mm. I mean, I'm guilty of it sometimes, where I'm very guilty of this. I'm a social butterfly, but sometimes I don't want to talk, right?
Yeah.
Where like I'll just look at my phone and I'll just be like listening to songs of me, and I'll be like, "Hey, mom," because I don't want to talk to people sometimes. But I'm very guilty, which I should stop doing. I'm very, 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 very guilty of talking to people in real life. But
What's wrong with
sometimes I
that?
don't
What do you
want to
mean?
talk to people. So I use my phone as like a way to like not interact with people, because sometimes I'm pissed off because of work. Oh, am I allowed to say that word? Sorry.
Yeah,
But I'm
I'm just
I'm
saying,
mad because
okay.
of
You're
I'm mad
frustrated.
because
Yeah,
of
yeah.
work. Maybe it's raining right now, so I'll use my phone as an excuse to not interact with people. But it's very interesting to me how many young people can't even make eye contact.
Yeah.
It's like I'm right here, you know?
Oh my
It's
God,
so
thank you for
interesting.
saying that. Yes. Yes. Yeah. And this movie also talked about body language. I mean, it was presenting body language stuff too. So,
God.
um,
Ugh.
this is so funny. I found like this amazing account because I'm starting to be more aware of these things. I just finished going to like an awesome conference, right? And I had to talk to like I think over 100 people.
Oh
And but at the
God, you're
same
probably
time,
exhausted.
yeah, oh yeah, very much so. Yeah, today I took a day I took a day off today. But it's never a day off for me. Yeah. But when you're at those kind of gatherings, you have to like be focusing on one person, but keeping your surroundings like open. So it's pretty, it's like if you want to really work the room, you gotta really have that perception. But I feel
Yeah.
like cool, awesome, yeah, we'll be friends. from here on out for sure. And so like I wanted to just touch upon, you said eye contact, and it's like I feel I need to review my nonverbal communication, because there was this account I found on Instagram, and it was teaching women how to present yourself confidently in any situation. And then somebody wrote a comment and they were like, "Well, this is manipulative." You okay? Everything okay?
No, no, keep going, keep going.
Do you have what? Do you have water with you?
No, it makes me mad when
Tell
they
me.
do that.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Like it's like, okay, well, it's manipulative to be confident. It's manipulative to like be able to have your stance, like have your shoulders back and feel confident, and like you in the way that you hold the cup, like you have to do it a certain way. You don't have to, but the lady was teaching people, and I thought that was great. I was like, okay, this is because I feel a difference when I do that too. And then somebody wrote, yeah, like this is manipulative, and if you learn if you learn these tricks, like you're tricking people. And I was thinking to myself, this is why we have uh imposter syndrome because of this kind of feedback. What
So
do you think about
so you
that?
mean so you mean don't act like Marilyn Monroe? Don't be professional? Don't be confident? Like I'm not saying like walk around like Conor McGregor, but like it's just
Yeah.
sorry. Like I also don't like when they're like pushing stuff to make you be like a man. Like I still want to cross my legs, you know? Like I still want to like flip my hair, you know? Like I can do that and still be confident. It's just basic human interaction, you know? It's
And
so
when you
weird
flip
that
your
we have to
hair,
teach
that's confidence. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
honestly. Honestly, like I'm a marriage of Marilyn Monroe and who's a strong female woman.
I like Audrey Hepburn. I felt like
Oh
she was always in her element.
yes, and Madam C.J. Walker. I'm strong, but I'm still feminine. I'm still gonna act like a girl.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but sorry, I feel like this is getting too long. So
No,
should
not
we
at
wrap this
all. I
up?
think this is a great way to end it. Maybe we can have a whole session talking about body language and
We should do this more
nonverbal
often. This
communication.
is so
Yeah,
fun.
it's a
If we
great way to
don't
end the
get
day,
planned
huh?
again next week, I'd love to do this again next week.
I love it. I'm all for it.
All right,
We're
so say where
still
we
in the
can like
team.
yes, where can we like go Bucks? Don't look at this. Where can we where can we like follow, subscribe, stalk you? Oh, you have an event this next week?
No, I'm just putting together a pretty awesome fundraiser for all of the efforts of different work stuff that I've been working on. It's a campaign I'm putting together, but yeah, that's kind of like separate. But for this is like just fun to me. I think being able to talk to different females and having like nonverbal communication. If maybe we can do that, follow up with that, like just talking about nonverbal communication and you know confidence and what we do and don't do to be a strong feminine woman.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. And how do I phrase this? Whatever, screw it.
Any
Hopefully
way
he
you
doesn't sue.
want.
No, I just don't want him to sue me because I don't have any money. But I really think that you're the next Elon Musk.
The
You
female
really
version.
are.
That's funny.
You really are. You really are the next Elon Musk. Like I said, Elon, I still like you. I like you, Elon. But I think your innovation um is great, and fantastic things are coming to you.
Ah, thank you so much. And to you too.
Oh,
We have
not
we have
for me.
improvements coming in for the rest of the year, but like I said, don't fixate on the improvements too much. Like you are good the way that you are right now, right? You're enough. We are enough. And just continuous improvement, right? But the way that you want to do it, not the way the rest of the world is telling you to do it. Our friend here just said something great, which I think is a wonderful author, Brene Brown. Yes, she's really,
Oh, yes.
I like
Okay.
her.
Well, the next chat, like I said, if we don't get banned, let's talk about Brene Brown.
Yeah, yes. Actually, I have a book from Brene Brown.
Who
So
doesn't have a book
since
by
you,
Brene Brown?
yes, you
Who
put
doesn't?
me on the
Are,
spot
are you
about
an
the book.
idiot? Are you an idiot? Who doesn't have a book by Brene Brown?
Brene
Like,
Brown's
if you
amazing.
don't, get the book. Jesus. All
Yes,
right, girl. I'll
I
talk to
have a
you
book
later.
from Brene, so I'll start reading that, and then we can continue the convo. And I definitely
Okay.
appreciate your time, and I
All right. I'll
appreciate.
talk
Thank
to you
you for
later,
having
girl.
this session. Yes, we did
Bye.
good. We did good. Bye,
Bye.
Ashley. Thank you so much for your time, and that was a quick session live with Ashley and Sabrina. Bye, everybody. Thank you for your input, Cuthbertson. See y'all later on the flip side.